The Birth of Tragedy is a philosophical work written by Friedrich Nietzsche, published in 1872. It is one of Nietzsche's earliest works and sets the stage for his later philosophy, which would come to be known as Nietzscheanism or nihilism. The book is divided into two main sections. The first section deals with the ancient Greek culture and the emergence of tragedy as an art form, while the second section deals with the state of contemporary culture and the decline of tragedy. Nietzsche argues that the ancient Greeks were able to produce great works of art, such as the tragedies of Aeschylus, Sophocles, and Euripides, because they had a unique combination of both Apollonian and Dionysian elements in their culture. Apollonian and Dionysian are two concepts that Nietzsche developed to explain the duality of human nature. The Apollonian represents the rational, ordered, and intellectual side of human nature, while the Dionysian represents the irrational, chaotic, and emotional side of human nature. Nietzsche argues that tragedy emerged in ancient Greece as a result of the tension and interaction between these two opposing forces. Tragedy, for Nietzsche, was not just a form of entertainment, but a way for humans to reconcile themselves with the fundamental contradiction at the heart of their nature. In the second section of the book, Nietzsche argues that modern culture has lost touch with the Dionysian element and has become too rational and orderly. He believes that this has led to a decline in art and culture, and that the only way to revive these things is to rediscover the Dionysian spirit. Nietzsche saw this as a necessary step in the evolution of human culture and believed that it would lead to a new and higher form of human existence. Overall, The Birth of Tragedy is an important work in Nietzsche's oeuvre and is considered a foundational text in the development of his philosophy. It introduces many of the key themes and concepts that would become central to his later writings, such as the will to power, the eternal recurrence, and the death of God. Here are some important excerpts from The Birth of Tragedy, along with explanations, insights, and lessons we can learn from them. The truest symbol of the healthiest life is a Dionysian affirmation. Nietzsche argues that a healthy life is not one that is free from suffering or pain, but one that embraces the full range of human experiences and emotions, including the irrational and the ecstatic. This Dionysian affirmation represents a willingness to embrace life in all its complexity and richness. Our society often values conformity, rationality, and order over spontaneity, emotion, and chaos. However, by rejecting our Dionysian impulses, we risk losing touch with the deeper aspects of our humanity and living a life that is shallow and unfulfilling. We should strive to embrace the full range of human experiences and emotions, even those that may be difficult or painful. By doing so, we can live more fully and authentically and achieve a greater sense of joy and fulfillment. Only as an aesthetic phenomenon are existence and the world justified. Nietzsche sees art as a way of transfiguring reality, of transforming it into something beautiful and meaningful. Through art, we are able to find meaning and purpose in life, even in the midst of chaos and suffering. Our society often values material success and achievement over spiritual fulfillment and creativity. However, by neglecting the aesthetic dimensions of our lives, we risk losing touch with the deeper aspects of our existence and living a life that is shallow and unfulfilling. We should view art and creativity as important components of our lives and strive to engage with them in meaningful ways. By doing so, we can connect with the deeper aspects of our humanity and find meaning and purpose in life, even in the midst of chaos and suffering. The Greeks knew and felt the terror and horror of existence. Nietzsche argues that the ancient Greeks were acutely aware of the harsh realities of existence, including suffering, mortality, and the transience of life. However, they did not despair in the face of these realities, but rather found meaning and purpose in the creation and appreciation of art. Our society often values positivity and optimism over honesty and authenticity. However, by denying or ignoring the darker aspects of existence, we risk losing touch with the deeper aspects of our humanity and living a life that is shallow and unfulfilling. We should recognize and acknowledge the harsh realities of existence, including suffering, mortality, and the transience of life. By doing so, we can develop a greater sense of compassion and empathy for ourselves and others, and find meaning and purpose in the midst of adversity. To be truthful means using the customary metaphors, in moral terms, the obligation to lie according to a fixed convention, to lie herd-like in a style obligatory for all. Nietzsche believes that language and metaphor are inherently subjective, and that truth is not an objective reality that can be discovered, but rather a matter of interpretation and perspective. Our society often values objectivity and rationality over subjectivity and intuition. However, by denying or suppressing our subjective experiences, we risk losing touch with the deeper aspects of our humanity and living a life that is shallow and unfulfilling. We should recognize and honor the subjective dimensions of our experience, including our emotions, intuitions, and personal perspectives. By doing so, we can develop a greater sense of authenticity and integrity, and live a life that is more fulfilling and meaningful.